morning. This is the fucking yoga company. No, not that kind of yoga. My name is Julia. This is beginning yoga. Sorry, forgot to do that before I started. This is beginning yoga. Beginning yoga. I'm therapeutic anchored style of yoga. I have a Vini yoga background. This is a beginning class, beginning flow. It's going to be light to medium energy. We might stop and work on some poses depending on where we're headed. I have no idea what we're doing this morning. I thought I usually kind of have an idea, but not today. It is not as smoky here in Colorado. It's a Saturday in October. For those of you who are joining in the at a different time and place in the space-time continuum, Colorado and northern Colorado and Wyoming are on fire, along with probably every other place it feels like in the country. The smoke has been very bad. Yesterday and the day before were terrible. It was just ash was just falling out of the sky. So I do feel great gratitude. That was a terrible sentence. But anyway, gratitude and many thanks and respect, mad respect for the firefighters who are up doing the hard work in the heart, in the deep, deep center of where it, I'm sure, is crazy. We are going to start in comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. I like to sit on a blanket. It keeps my sit bones a little higher, and it gives me a little bit more room and where I'm comfortable with my hips. This is called pleasant seated pose. If you are sitting in crisscross applesauce, you will see that will reinforce imbalance in your hips. So I want you to open up your knees a little bit and widen up the placement of your feet and stack feet, heel to ankle. If this is very uncomfortable, and don't get me wrong, that's perfectly okay. You can take one leg out, one leg in. You can sit with your legs extended, maybe with a bolster, a pillow, or a towel wrapped up underneath your knees. But get as comfortable as you can on the mat. That's me. Try not to be a mush mouth. Anyway, we're going to take a moment to draw our attention and awareness from the external to the internal, taking a scan of the body, checking in, state and quality of the physical form. We want to notice any places where there is tension and tightness that we may be already experiencing. I don't know what you've been doing in the week, or how you slept last night. This cool weather is good sleeping weather. We want to take a scan of the body, checking in. We're going to move that attention and awareness into the state and quality of our thinking. Just notice, maybe you're not quite awake this morning. That's perfectly okay. Maybe you're kind of up and running and your to-do list is already humming along. We want to slide those things off to the side to create a nice, clear, open field of thought for the practice. We're going to move that silence into the awareness of the breath and check in. We just want to notice that natural intuitive rhythm of breath without any control. Traditionally in yoga, we breathe into and out of the nose, but if that is uncomfortable for you, just breathe. And wherever you are, in the length and balance of that breath, let's invite it to get a little bit longer. We would like to balance the length of inhale to match the length of exhale, and that's the rhythm of breath that we're going to attempt to hold throughout the practice today. Wherever you are in that rhythm of breath, let's exhale all the air out of the lungs. We're going to reach down toward the mat. And we're going to add a sweep of the arms toward the ceiling to the next inhale. It might turn into a yawn, that's okay. Coming on up to that inhale, let's take our first lateral extension. We're going to release the right arm down. Open up that shoulder, or open up the space between your ear and your shoulder by dropping that shoulder down, keeping that arm nice and wide. We're just going to lift the ribs as we lean away from that direction of the hip. And then we're going to switch, work in repetition. Inhaling up through that stretch, and then exhaling as we take it over to the side. Sometimes we reverse the breathing on these lateral extensions to get a little bit more stretch through the side body, but not as we are warming up. We're going to come on up through our inhale and take our first forward fold. Tracing those fingers down, tucking the chin. We're going to take a little rock side to side. This is an excellent place for a stool or the block. We're going to rest our body weight on our elbows. You can rest them on the knees. You can rest them on the calves, the block, or the floor. Tuck the chin at the bottom of that bow. Wiggle the toes, relax the feet, unclench the teeth. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here, including that's the inhale and the exhale. With our next inhale, let's lengthen the arms, walking hands back toward the body, taking a slow sweep up to the ceiling. We're going to release out, palms up, little shrug of the shoulders, soften the elbows, reach back behind the body, bow the chin forward. And then let's release those fingers down to the hips, turning palms to face behind us. We're going to take a little head sweep. So we're tilting to one ear over the shoulder, We're going to release down and tilt the ear into the other side. And then let's release the chin to center. We're going to unwind the spine and bring those hands around to the front of the body. If you happen to be sitting in pleasant seated position or with one knee out, one leg out, one leg in, we're going to switch the position of those legs. Little rock side to side. We're going to take add that extra inhale. So let's exhale all the air out the lungs. And we'll take the sweep on up toward the ceiling. So let's come on up through our stretch. We're going to take a lateral extension. I'm going to go over to that first side. And now I want you to rotate the body toward the knee and take a little bow. Just reach forward on the mat, tucking the chin, but we're taking this lateral stretch across the knee and turning it into a fold. And then let's come up and take an inhale. We're going to take our forward fold, tucking the chin, rolling the shoulders. I'm going to move a little bit deeper into the block, a little rock side to side. Relax the feet, wiggle the toes, unclench the teeth. And then with our next inhale, lengthening arms, taking that stretch up toward the ceiling, we're going to release those fingers out, little shrug of the shoulders, soften the elbows, reach back behind the body. And let those hands drift back down towards the hips again. And then let's take our head sweeps, tilting to one side. Try to get nice and long through the spine, lift the chest, tilt those shoulders back a little bit. We want to really create some natural length from the shoulder under the collarbone through the neck, the strap muscles up behind the ear, two up behind the ear. And now we're going to release the chin forward, travel those fingers around to the front of the body, and slowly stack cervical spine. We are going to move to hands and knees. I like to pad my knees with a blanket. I'm also going to move my block out to the end of the mat. Again, you don't have to have a block, but a stool or a kitchen stool or a step stool is nice if you need a little bit of extra room as we build more flexibility. Flexibility is not inherent. It is not a static measurement. It is something that can change. It takes a long time to change. That's okay. Yoga is the long con. Took us a long time to get our bodies the way they are. And it's going to take us a little bit of time to get them to change. I don't know if there's ever, any going back. Let's see. Resting fists side by side. Give me a soft bend in the elbows. I'm going to place my knees around my fists. I want to keep my hips 90 degrees over my knees, but I'm going to move my hands out from 90 degrees to a half to a full palm's length in front of my shoulders. So you're going to be a little overextended in the upper body, but stacked hip to knee in the lower body. This lets you soften the elbows. It's going to take pressure off of the carpal tunnel, and it allows the upper body muscle structure to hold your body weight up rather than resting on the joints. So let's take a nice inhale at center, flat in the back. We're moving to what I call what we know as the Chakravakasana bow. Tuck the chin, relax the forearms to the mat, Now scoop the belly, tuck the tailbone, and reach back for the bow toward the floor. Wiggle the fingers, roll the wrists, make some fists. Inhaling, we are coming straight forward, keeping flat in the back. Exhaling, releasing chin, releasing forearms, and now take the hips back, bow toward the mat, wiggle the fingers, roll the wrists, make some fists. We're going to do that 2 more times. And now we're going to come forward to hands and knees, and we're going to work our leans. I'm calling them the what the fuck leans. You might hear them being called oxen lean. I don't think that's an actual position. Push a hip out over one shoulder, look over the opposite shoulder at the foot. Soften the elbows and relax out of my shoulders. I'm just using the weight of the body to stretch through the exterior muscle structure of the hip, glute med, piriformis, and there's another one I can't think of at the moment. Coming through center, big angry cat tuck. I want you to release the head, soften the elbows, lean back a little into the heels. Inhale to flat back, and then we're going to take a Chakravarkasana bow. So we release the chin, place the elbows to the mat, tuck the tailbone, and take our fold. Wiggle the fingers, roll the wrists, make some fists. Coming forward through flat back. Lean out over hip. And switch. Coming through center, angry cat tuck. Inhaling to flat back. All right, I'm going to take my right hand over left hand, interlace the fingers, drop the hip all the way back to the heel and take a little bow. Tuck the chin between the arms. And let's come up. We're going to switch. Right hand to left. Taking a little reach. And coming through center. Angry cat tuck again. Inhaling, let's take our Chakravarkasana bow. Tucking chin, resting forearms, leaning back into the heels. Wiggle the fingers, roll the wrists, make some fists. Inhaling through center. We are going to move our hands out a little further toward the end of the mat. Stay soft in the elbows. Shrug the shoulders, and we're going to lean back into a low bowing dog here. Keeping up out of the chest, keeping those shoulders shrugged and open. Flat, flat, flat in the back. Do not sink toward the floor. Keep the chest pressed up and away. Inhaling, let's bring the hands back and take our Chakravarkasana bow. Tuck the chin, release the elbows, let the hips drop back. Wiggle the fingers, roll the wrists, make some fists. Inhaling forward, let's take an oxen lean. What the fuck? This is that look you give that person who's tailgating you for no apparent reason. When you're even going faster than the speed limit, allegedly. Angry cat tuck. Inhaling. All right, we're going to step the feet in and take a press up to our runner stretch. I'm going to step in to center the weight on the balls of the feet. So I'm a little overextended in the upper body. I'm a little closer in the lower body. Soften the knees. Shrug the shoulders open. Push down into a heel. And switch. We do that one more time. And switch. All right, we're gonna walk up to the end of the mat. Soft bend in the knees. This is where a stool or a step stool or the block is gonna come in handy. I want you to be soft in the knees, a little forward in the feet. We're just gonna take a release into forward fold. Bend the knees, lift the torso. I want you to scoop into that reverse crunch, roll those shoulders open. Let's take a big stretch up to the ceiling. Ooh. Give me a cactus squeeze back. So we're gonna work a little balance work today. That's where I went. It just became apparent to me. We're gonna take a little lateral extension. And switch. So the thing about balance poses, we've worked tree pose, I think. Let's take another cactus arm. We're gonna go down to forward folding chair. Release back into the heels, sit all the way down, let the upper body rest on the lower body. So the thing about balance is that it can change depending on the day. Lift the head and shoulder and take it on up for the stretch. A lot of times, release that open. A lot of times people think balances are a matter of strength or like, I just have terrible balance. You could have terrible balance. I've had vertigo. It's the worst thing ever. But if you're not experiencing vertigo, the truth is balance is all about core strength and accessing your core. And then sometimes it's just easier than others, right? It just depends on the day. So we've worked tree pose. Today we're going to work 2 versions. We're going to work I don't know what it's called. We're just going to work a standing balance, and then we're going to work into what is Warrior 3, which is an extended balance. So a chair or a stool would be helpful. I'm going to use the windowsill as a prop to show you how to get there. So let's just work through a little, we're going to work a little crescent lunge, and then we're going to go into the beginnings of Warrior 3. And then we're also going to do a kind of a standing staff pose, a modification of standing staff pose. In addition, I'm also going to show you how a strap or a tea towel will help you get a little bit further into a pose if you want to try to challenge yourself and create flexibility at the same time as you are increasing your balance. Very important to talk about, though, the squish in the knees. I'm wearing kind of floopy pants today, so you're not going to see it. I'm going to cue it frequently, and I want you to always, there's a couple things, right? We'll revisit them, and they all apply to what we did in tree pose. But if you're just starting for the first time, it's good to hear it. So soft in the knees, that's important. Don't lock your knees. If you're locking your knees, there's a variety of things that go wrong up the chain, and you're taking the work out of your muscle structure. So soft in the knees. I want you also to stay up out of the hips. So if you just lean into your hip, you can feel that strain, and then you tend to lock that knee. There's no muscle work going on. We're resting ourselves on the skeletal structure, which is not what it's designed to do. I want you to engage the low belly, draw up the abdominal core, and feel balanced between the hips. So I want you to feel that energy right here, and soft in the knees. And then you can shift your whole entire body to the left, but keep lifted up out of that hip. So sometimes I'll cue you to put your hand on your hip to keep from dipping into this hip rest. Okay, same on this side. Just shift the whole body to the right, but lift a little higher with the core. So we really, want to activate the core here. So standing, balancing staff pose, I'm assuming that that's what it's called right now because that's where my brain's going, is going to be heel pressed out. And we're going to work that a little bit. And then I'll show you how to work it with the strap or a tea towel. And then Warrior 3 is the opposite of that, which is a folding balance. And it's just a little bit different than needle pose or standing splits. And I don't know if we worked that one in beginning yoga in this video series yet off the top of my head. I really should keep a list, but I'm not that organized right this moment. Okay, so let's work through a little forward folding chair, a little crescent lunge, and then we'll work into those balances. Nice big inhale up. Cactus arm it back. Give me squish in the knees. And now we're going to engage the core and come on over for our lateral extension. Big reach. Scoop it on up. And to the other side. Coming on up to come down, forward folding chair. Release into this fold. Let the body hang. Lean back into those heels. Feel that stretch right up into the low back structure. All right, let's trace fingers up the legs for a nice, easy half lift. Remember, half lift is not half fold. Engage the core here. I'm about 120 degrees. Open the shoulders, maybe 130. Touch the tops of the legs. The weight shifts slightly forward into the balls of the feet, but you are relaxed in the toes. Let's slide on down for our forward fold. Again, I'm going to come to the block, soft in the knees. Just let the body release. Bend the knees, lift up through the core, hands to hips. So we're going to take our right foot back for our first crescent lunge. Remember, we step back and out. We're going to be on the ball of the foot. I want the entire length of your foot to be parallel to the edge of the mat, toes pointed forward. Remember, we don't rock in or out with our ankle, and we drop into this front knee, keeping it stacked right over the heels. We're going to roll those shoulders back and extend the back forward. So let's just give that nice long length. My chin is tucked. My shoulders are rolled back and open. Okay, let's come on up. We're going to step forward. And I want you to, I'm going to turn this direction. So I'm still going to be wide in my feet. I'm going to come up to the ball of my foot on the right side. Now, I automatically shifted all the way over to the left because that's just where my muscle memory goes. I want you to shift to the left, stay up out of that hip. Give me this lift up under the ribs. Open the shoulders. Okay, so we're going to move into this modified standing staff. I'm going to look that up and figure out what it's called. Proper names. But what we want to do is just press that heel out and forward, okay? So imagine if you had your feet on the mat. I'm going to shift to the left, stay up out of that hip, give me this lift and openness of the core. I want to activate here, and then just lift that heel forward like you were going to touch a button in front of you with your heel. I have soft bend in my knee. I'm up out of this hip. I'm not sinking here. I'm up, lifting from the core. My chin is slightly tucked, and you can see I'm wobbling. It's not a perfect balance. I'm not going to be completely still, and release. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the side and do that again. And I want you to think about what's happening with your legs. So engage the core. Open those shoulders. I'm going to keep my hip up. I'm shifting all the way to the left. Soft in the knee. I'm just going to lift that heel slightly off the mat and forward. I have a soft bend in this knee. And you can see I'm wobbling. It's fine. I'm not standing completely still. I'm not rigid. I'm allowing my body to move and find its balance. My foot is rotating. My ankle's rotating. Come on down and rest. I want you to feel that energy from the ankle wrapped up around the knee and all the way up in toward the hip, but not in a way that you're locking that knee or hanging on the hip. Okay? Let's come back to center. We're going to take our inhale up, soften the knees, and take your cactus arm back. Lateral extension. Let's take it over. Coming on up to come down, forward folding chair. Take that nice long lift. You can feel that work because balancing in the core is the pelvic lumbar rhythm. We're working our insertion points in that low back. Let's come on up for our half lift. Nice, easy energy. Lift and spread the toes. Keep this engaged right here. I'm soft in the knees. And I'm coming down for my forward fold. Now, you might be able to come a little bit further in that forward fold. So maybe touching the tops of the thighs or the shins, the ankles of the foot or the floor. If you're still wanting the block or the stool, that is perfectly fine. All right, bend the knees. Let's press up. Now we're going to shift to the right. So I want you to think about, I'm going to turn this way. I want you to think about the softness in this knee. Draw the core up and in. Open the shoulders. We're going to shift all the way to the right. Stay up out of that hip. Engage the core. And now I'm just going to lift my heel up in the left. I'm soft in this knee. I'm soft in this knee. But I'm tall and long. I'm up out of this hip. And I'm breathing. And you can see I'm waddling. It's not completely still. It's fine. Maybe you want to come down and barely touch the heel to the mat. I find that a little bit more challenging, but that's okay. Maybe you want to close that. You could also lift that heel and rest it on your footstool. You're going to deepen that knee, but you'll definitely be square in those hips. You won't be leaning into that hip. Bring it down and shake it out. Roll those shoulders back. Let's go ahead and take a forward fold from there. Nice big reach. Oh, I forgot our crescent lunge on that side. Let's take our crescent lunge. I'm going to go back. See, this is where I was at. I was just so focused on where we were going. I forgot one. Okay, let's add the crescent lunge. Left foot, take it out, step it back. Okay. Again, the edge of my foot is parallel to the mat. I'm thinking too hard about it and I'm losing my balance. Lift and spread the front toes, lateral space between those feet. I want that front knee stacked right on top of that heel, little squish in the back knee. Hands to hips, reach the chest forward. Ooh, that feels good. Roll those shoulders back. Just give me the tiniest of lift. Drop that back heel toward the mat. Ah, there's some work. Okay, we're going to step forward. And now I want you to press that leg up. Lift up out of that hip. I'm soft in the knee. I'm engaged in the core. I'm not leaning too far back and I'm not leaning too far forward to compensate for that lever. I want you to be stacked. Shoulders, ribs, hips. Lift the leg. Right? I don't want you to be leaning back to compensate because then you've lost the core and you're kind of cranking into that low lumbar structure. Bring that in. Take a little rock side to side. Roll those shoulders. Woo! All right. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water. All right. Then we're going to add, we're going to rotate from our staff balance to our warrior three. And that is a fold, but I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to use, maybe I'll use my mat. This is my fucking yoga mat. It's just too little too squishy for my taste. Yeah, that'll be better for me. Okay, so I'm going to put my mat here. A kitchen stool would work. You can use the block. I'll show you both ways. This is a big core balance. So I want you to, what we're working, right? And my feet are starting to get fatigued because I'm putting a lot of work into them, lifting and spreading them apart, right? All right, here we go. Let's start from the beginning. Nice big inhale up. Cactus arms back. Coming on up, soft in the knees, engage the core. Let's take our lateral extension. Coming on up. And the other side. And then I'm going to show you how to use our strap to get a little bit more room in that pose. Let's forward folding chair it. Move that here so I remember to show you that. Cactus up, half lift. Soft in the knees, engage the core. Tuck the chin, a little forward with the body, long. Let's come on down for our forward fold. Bend the knees, let's press on up. Hands to hips, let's take our right foot back for a crescent lunge. Step out first, step back. Give me some lateral space between those feet. Woo! So see, my balance is off today. It's okay. Soften the knees. Lean that heel back, but keep that squish. Front knee stacks right over the front heel. Stretch the back away from the hips. Give me the tiniest lift of the shoulders. Rock those shoulders and elbows back. All right, so the challenge right here is that I want you to step forward right into your balance. However, if you need to take a moment to put that foot on the mat to get settled, please do it. So we're gonna just step right up and forward. Lift up out of that hip. Lift and engage the core. Open the shoulders. Press that heel forward. You can take your hands to the shoulders. You can lengthen them out. Give yourself, feel like that might help you a little more with a little bit more stability. All right, now we are going to put the foot down. Ball of the foot is on the mat. Stay up out of that hip. Stay soft in that knee. Now we're going to pivot to 90 degrees around this hip. So we're going to engage forward, and then we're going to extend that leg back. I'm going to show you. This would be the perfect place to come to the stool. In fact, I'm just going to come to the mat first to show you how that's going to work. Notice I'm putting that mat out, that stool, away from the end of the mat because I want to make it the length of my torso. I don't want to be bowed. I want to be extended in the back. So let's come forward. I'm going to have to move over the vent. Sorry about that. Didn't think about this ahead of time. See? Oh, I'm professional. So first of all, I want you to be long. Feel that length of that. So see, I'm shifting forward. I'm still soft in this knee. I'm relaxed in the shoulders. I'm going to pick up my back foot off the mat. You can just touch the toe. And then I'm going to pivot into this fold. I want to rock my hips forward. This is so awkward. I want to rock my hips forward so that I'm not rotating open. There are different poses that we're going to rotate open. I'm going to come forward to show you this in plane. It's just so awkward to do with this mat. And the trick is you don't want to be leaning on it. That's my problem, is I was leaning on it because it's on the half on the vent, half off the vent. And have I mentioned no vents in the new place? It's radiant floor heating. Okay. So get balanced. So we went from our crescent lunge to our forward balance. I'm lifted up out of this hip. I'm lifted up in the core. I'm shifted to the left. I'm going to tuck my toe back. So I'm just touching my tippy toe to the mat. And I'm going to pivot around this hip out long in the body. Don't sink into the hip like this. I want you to draw up. Now, the flip side of that is I don't want you to rotate open. So when we take our forward folding balance needle pose, we do rotate open because that keeps us out of this hip more effectively. What I want you to do, though, is rotate these hips down, which means your leg might not be as far up behind you, or your body might not be as far forward. So I just want you to see this move with my hips so that you can imagine it in your head. It's the best I've got in virtual land. Okay, so I'm going to tip my right toe back. I'm up out of this hip. Notice I rock open. Now I want to rotate forward my entire body. So I'm up out of this hip, but I'm rotated forward, a little exaggerated. Hips, ribs, hips, shoulders, ribs, hips. I'm going to fold over to the mat or stool, and I'm going to lift my back leg up. Now, I'm going to be light on this, but I'm going to move my hands out so you can see I'm still up out of this hip, and I'm wobbling. It's okay. I just don't want you to lean into the hip like that. Okay? Woo! We're going to move to the other side. Your feet should be feeling pretty much a ton of energy. Whew. Nice big inhale up. Cactus arm. Soften the knees. Coming on over. Oh, engage. Coming on up. Oh, if you're in Windsor, you should look outside. They've got somebody's braving the smoke to be up in their balloon. Release on all the way down. Tracing on up. Roll it over. Here's what I'm going to do. This is how nice I am. I don't know if I have enough cord. Can you see that? It's going behind the tree. Oh no, it's going behind the tree. Oh well. That is one thing I will miss a little bit from the farm is unless you know somebody who wants to come out and launch their balloon from the farm, that would be really fun. Okay. Sorry, I digressed. I got distracted by the shiny object. Here we go. Nice. Inhale up. We're going to the left. We're going to balance on the right leg. Lateral extension. Engage on up. Man, they're brave. Although it's not as smoky today as it was yesterday. Yet. Forward folding chair. You feeling that core work? Trace on up. Half lift. Forward fold. Bend the knee. Come on up. We're going to shift to the right foot and take our left foot back. Crescent lunge. Woo! That was a sloppy step. So I will say I'm challenged today with my balance. Roll it open. All right, we're going to step forward again. I'm going to step straight into my balance. If you need to take that mid step, feel free. Don't feel badly if you need it, right? We're all different, although I should probably take it given how wobbly I am today. Woo. Press it out. Be up out of that hip. Open those shoulders. All the energy is right here. Soften the knee. Okay, we're going to tuck the up and pivot forward. So you're either going to come to your stool or maybe the block. I like the block in this case because it lets me get it 90 degrees. I'm soften the knee. I'm up out of that hip and I'm rotating my other hip down. So this is the modification. I'm going to bring that foot in, take a little forward fold. Ooh, rock side to side. There's some work going on in those hips. Bend the knees. Roll it up. Ooh, how you feel? I'm feeling quads, glutes, core. All right. So I'm going to show you how to get a little bit more space or how to, in this balanced staff pose. We don't use this necessarily for Warrior 3. Roll the shoulders back. I'm going to do on the right leg because I feel like we've done a lot on the left leg. So again, I want to get nice and engaged up, soften the knee, up out of that hip. I'm shifting my entire body to the right. And then what you can do is either get a tea towel, a scarf, or the strap. Lift up long, lengthen the arms, and then you can draw up a little bit into this balanced staff. Now, stop, don't lean back. I'll turn this way. I want you not to lean back with that, which might be the inclination with the strap. So lift up straight, roll the shoulders back. You just want to press the heel forward without leaning back. There it is. And come down. Now, author's note, yoga teacher's note. I could do that without the strap. The other thing is you're going to see it in a lot of poses, or a lot of teachers are going to cue this process, which I don't even know if I can do. I might fall. So be prepared. Laugh first. I'll holler for help here. I always say laugh first, 911 later. But shift to the left. I'm going to do it on the left side. I'm just going to show you. You'll see this cued like this. Do you see my problems with this? First of all, I'm not in my core. I'm rolled over. There's no way. Also, my legs are not long enough to get that foot out and stay straight up and be in my core balance. So I'll show you. The best I've got is this. But look at, I'm not in my core. I'm slumped. My shoulders are rolled open. I can't straighten up because I don't have the flexibility. I don't have the length of arm to get the length of leg out. So don't ever feel like you got to do that. It's just not a healthy, there's no, unless you have gorilla arms, right? Unless your arms, and by gorilla arms, I mean arms longer, like down. Some people have longer arms, you know, or they have shorter torso, or they have shorter inseam, so your legs are shorter. Unless you have a physical length that lets you do that, it's really difficult to get into that position because you can't make your arms longer. Sorry, it just doesn't happen. You will compensate by coming out of your upper back and then you lose your core. All right, so let's take our seat. Whew, having a hot flash. I need to go get my little fan. Forgot about that. Whew. That's not what I'm doing. We're coming to our backs. Whew. All right. I am going to grab my strap. So if you have a towel or your scarf, I'll cue it out. You know I will. I'm going to grab a drink of water. Hot. And I can't find my great fan. I don't know where it's at. Moving means I've packed about a million things. And I don't know where any of it is. Take a little rock side to side. You should be feeling that heat in the low back because we've just worked the core. We worked glutes and we worked hamstrings and quads. So when we work and strengthen those lower body parts, you get tight in the obliques and those insertion points or in the low back. All right, let's take the heels to the mat. Scooch a little close. We're going to take some bridge here just to stretch that low back. So roll those shoulders, get nice and flat on the mat. Tuck the chin. Scooch those heels close to the glutes. We're going to exhale all the air out of the lungs. And now we're going to inhale, tilt the tailbone up, lift the hips, mid back, low back, press into the shoulder blades, lift the hips, keep the knees engaged. That means don't let them flop out or sink in, unroll. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling. Exhale. One more time. And release. Whew, let's move those toes out to the edge of the mat. Take a windshield wiper sweep. Tilt on over. Yeah, now you're releasing some of that hip flexor energy. Little oblique stretch. One more in both directions. That was 2. And bring them in. All right, we're going to take some Apanasana here, but we're going to do it with a wide angle. We want to release our tension. So let's take the hands to the insides of the knees and press out. Roll the ankles, wiggle the toes. Your feet should feel fatigued. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Take a little rock side to side. Now press out. You're going to feel those adductors. Whenever we do balance, we're activating the core and we're firing up those adductors as well. All right, let's turn those hands around the outsides of the knees. Keep that angle wide. We're going to inhale to prepare. And we're going to exhale. Draw knees up, tuck the tailbone, give it a little lift. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale. Let's do it again. Inhale. And again. And release. Let's take the toes to the mat. Press the soles of the feet together. Little rock side to side. And let those knees hang. Woo. All right, tuck the tailbone, bring those knees up. Let's give them a squeeze. We're going to move into our position for Shavasana. Now, if you're feeling that heat and tension still in the low back, which is perfectly normal, you can just rest feet on the floor, knees to the ceiling. Let those knees tent in a little bit. You can extend legs. You could roll a blanket under the knees, fold a blanket under hips and waist, roll a blanket under your neck. I am going to take seated meditation. Am I going to take seated meditation? No. You know what? I'm not. I'm going to roll a blanket underneath my low back. Keep my knees on the ceiling. So I'll show you what this looks like too. So I unfolded it. I've got a narrow roll, and I'm going to tuck the roll toward my low back with the blanket cushioning the other side. All right, I'm gonna tuck this blanket, right up underneath my tailbone, and I'm gonna rock into it, lift the hip a little bit. So this roll is right above my waistband into my low lumbar. My tailbone and my glutes are hanging off. I'm just gonna get a little lumbar stretch here, tucking the chin, opening up the shoulders, feet on the mat, knees toward the ceiling. Relaxing the breath. Soft, easy inhale, soft, silent exhale. And let's just pull our attention and awareness into the state and quality of our forehead. We want to feel all those tiny little muscles release their energy. Feel soft through the face and down through the cheeks. Unclench the teeth. Let the tongue relax away from the roof of the mouth. Feeling soft through the neck. Across the tops of the shoulders, down through the forearms, into the elbows. Little wiggle of fingers, roll the wrists. And now let the upper body rest into the mat. Feel long through the base of the neck, down the length of the spine, between the ribs, in between the hips, maybe a pelvic tilt, a little rock side to side, and then relax the energy out of the glutes. Relax the quads, the hamstrings. Feel soft behind the space of the knee. Maybe a little flexion of the calf, a little roll of the ankle, wiggle the toes, and let the lower body release its energy. Pulling that attention and awareness into the space and quality of your thinking. Let's hold our to-do list off a little bit longer, just keeping some silence in that space and then moving that silence into the attention of our breath. All right, we're going to take some deeper breaths. Just suck that air in, sigh it out. Wiggling the fingers, rolling the wrists. If your feet are on the mat, you can leg them out. Roll the ankles, wiggle the toes. Reach those arms out to the side. Oh, take a big stretch. And then we're going to slide those arms up over the head and squeeze the energy back into the body. I'm going to bring a knee up and give it a squeeze. Bringing the other knee up. Give it a squeeze. Let's take a rock side to side. One hip across and roll to the other. And then we're going to rock completely over to one side, resting our head on our arm. Just take a breath or two right there. All right, I'm going to lengthen the top leg and slowly work myself up into comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. Taking a moment to scan the body. We want to check in with the state and quality of the physical form, just noticing. I'm going to roll my shoulders back. Take a tilt with the head in one direction. Take a tilt of the head in the other direction. And then just relax. Shoulders stacked over ribs, ribs over hips. And let's notice what's going on in the body. Just give your body a chance to give you some response. And then let's pull our attention and awareness into the state and quality of our thinking. Let's just check in. What's going on in the brain? We can start allowing our to-do list to move into our awareness with a little bit of elbow room. No pushing, no shoving. And then let's move that attention and awareness into our breath and see where we are in terms of our relaxed, autonomous breath. And now wherever you are, we're going to blink our eyes open. Wherever you are. Yeah, that's true. Whatever you're doing right this minute, let's blink our eyes open. We're going to, I am going to release practice and take this big stretch up to the ceiling. And then letting all of that go. Taking a moment to honor your body for doing what you asked it to do today and all the hard work it does to get you from one end of the week to the other. Thank you so much for supporting the online gig of the fucking yoga company. My name is Julia. I know it's not ideal, but we're all doing our part, keeping me safe, keeping you safe, keeping our groove on. Wash your hands, wear your masks. Try to remember, I'm digging deep for grace and kindness. I'm digging deep. If you would like to get a hold of me, my email is yoga@jclynn.com. I'm going to eventually put it on the screen. If you want to check out the website, it's the effin yoga, EFFING, yogablog.com. That's where the calendar is. That's where my blog posts are. There are some class links. You could probably do some purchase information there. There's my playlists are all there. If you participate in socially online community, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at EFFING yoga. You could hit the store, which we're in the process of migrating to a different site to get yourself some sassy yoga gear. And if you want to get subscribed to my email list, if you're not already, you will be getting a book reveal cover next at the beginning of this week. Woohoo! Monday. If you haven't seen the book cover, it's coming out on Monday. The book will be released at the end of November. Yay! Print, audio, ebook, the fucking yoga book, yoga for the rest of us, all of the benefits, none of the bullshit. My name is Julia. Enjoy the weekend if you can. I wish very clear air where you're at, and 0 assholes. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Saturday.